dynamic.
Yeah. And the fact that he's got he's a two-way ball player and stuff like that. When does this kid get to rest? I mean,
I agree with you.
And he's only pitching once a week. I mean, so that hurts the amount of starts that you have. Would you rather have, really good start, have 20 really good starts as opposed to, having, John McGillicuddy pitching, with a 9.78 ERA? I guess you take Ohtani.
I like him, but I understand. I mean, I'm reaching a little bit, but I do like Ohtani.
Okay, at number 9. Where do I have number 9? That's where I got Shane Bieber.
And I have Zach Wheeler. So there we go.
There you go. You know what? For some reason, I don't have number 10 marked off. So who's your number 10?
My number 10 was your guy, Sandy Alcantara.
Okay. So, my number 11 is Alcantara.
Okay.
So, Alcantara, the problem with him is obviously wins, pitching for the Marlins. And he had 201 Ks through 206 innings last year. Only won 9 games, 23 quality starts, 3.15 ERA with a whip of 1.07. So, on that team, that's pretty impressive.
No, it is. I mean, he was really the one guy they could count on coming out. My 11 was Sale. Okay. Again, coming off the injury, I like lefties that can get a lot of big outs and strike you out, and he can certainly do that. He could also be a bulldog and go 8 for you, which a lot of pitchers, don't do anymore.
Right. I didn't pull out all my stuff out, so I don't have that. But I know I have Sale in my top 20. But at number 12, I went with Robbie Ray.
I did not. I went with Julio Urias. I went with your guy earlier.
Right. The thing with Robbie Ray,
he walks the ballpark.
Walks the ballpark. I guess maybe I'm giving him too much credit for winning the Cy Young.
His whip will never be great, but he'll strike you out like a crazy man. And the Blue Jays offense is outstanding.
I tell you, his whip last year was 1.05.
No, it was outstanding. But I've had him on I protected him for 3 straight years. His whip was never better than 1.3.5 until the year I give him up.
That's the problem. He might just be a one-trick pony.
Yeah, but he certainly has great stuff, no doubt about it.
So he might be a little bit high. People are probably going to say you're on crack, and I can feel that. I can understand that. But number 13, Lucas Giolito.
Same.
Really?
It's the first one we've been identical with, except for Burns.
Right. 14, I went with Kevin Gausman. Same reason. Great season last year. They're saying that he's throwing, his fastball, harder and he's got more movement and stuff. And that was part of the reason why he was successful. 227 Ks, 14 wins, 2.81 ERA and a whip of 1.04. Can he do it again? That's the question. And he's with Toronto.
He had a great year in San Francisco. Will Toronto be the same for him?
But again, this goes back to how pitchers mature a little bit later. He didn't pitch horribly for Baltimore. But
it's a bad park to pitch in, and he was on a bad team, and it's really hard. I have Flaherty in that spot.
Okay.
Jack is, he's the ace in St. Louis. I think I like what I saw from him last year.
Yeah, it's almost like for me, Gausman. Let's see if he does it again this year, then he's legit.
Then he's top 10 if he doesn't make that this year.
So, but where did I go? Number 15. Number 15. Where's 15? It's a separate page. That's where I put Ohtani.
Okay. I had Gausman there. So
right. Number 16, I went with where is he? Lance Lynn.
I might be the only guy in the world that really does not trust Lance Lynn. He didn't make my top 20, and I know a lot of people love him.
Yeah, I don't trust him. He had obviously a great year last year, but a 2.69 ERA and a whip of 1.07 is pretty damn good. And Chubby had 176 Ks.
No doubt about it. I went a little bit of a reach here. I went with Charlie Morton.
Okay.
I think Atlanta just churns out good pitching.
Good. My only concern with Charlie Morton, he's getting up there in age, and
he is.
He had a 3.30 ERA last year, which is not bad. Still struck out 216 batters last year. So that's pretty impressive. I just
think that for some strange reason in Atlanta, they just always find a way to pitch well.
Yeah, he doesn't crack my top 20. But
neither did Lance Lynn for me, so we're on the same boat there.
Yeah. Number 17, I went with Flaherty.
And I went with Max Fried.
Okay.
I went on an Atlanta run here, apparently.
Apparently. Number 18, Joe Musgrove.
And number 18 for me, I went with, this is going to seem a little weird, but I went with Luis Castillo from Cincinnati.
Oof.
He had an awful year last year. I get it. I like him. I don't know. He just didn't. He didn't pitch well. Cincinnati didn't have a good year, but I think Castillo could be really in line for a bounce back.
Number 19, I went with Freddie Peralta.
I went with Yu Darvish.
Okay, his ERA was a little bit too high for me last year.
No, he did not have a good year. I agree with you.
Yeah, but this goes to show you how good the Brewers are. You got Peralta with a 2.81 ERA, and let's see, you got Burns with a 2.43 ERA. You got 2.56 for Brandon Woodruff, and you got Hader at the end of your bullpen. Holy crap, this team is stacked.
And a bunch of other arms in that pen that are dynamic. Williams, all these guys, they're good.
Yeah, they're looking good. And I wrap it up with Max Fried at number 20.
And I wrap it up with Freddie Peralta at number 20.
Hey, there you go. So we're pretty much
we're not far off of each other. I have a couple guys in there that you wouldn't. You had a couple guys in there that I didn't. But for the most part, we're in line. I know Luis Castillo is a bit of a reach, right. And I know and I know Darvish could be too. I'm just saying I like what I see from those guys.
Who's a dark horse for you? You think that could really step up this year?
Well, it's funny when I think about dark horses. One of the first things that comes to mind are the guys that that you used to always think would be dominant in the top, like a Clayton Kershaw, who's not even in that consideration right now, right?
I think more than anything,
you're like, wow, it's kind of crazy. I think Shane McClanahan's a guy I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's really good.
Okay.
I think Mike Clevenger can really bounce back. He was off. He's been out for the last year and with the injury and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a guy you could really look at. And I liked a little bit of Tariq Skubal last year in Detroit. Those would be the three guys I would look at.
I don't know if it's so much of a dark horse because he's got so much talent. He's had a problem with control and obviously injuries. But Kopech, Michael Kopech.
Yeah, he's good.
He hopefully will be a starter this year, so that'll help. Look for, I think Casey Mize is going to have a much better year.
I can see that too. I like what I saw from him last year too.
Yeah, he pitched decent. He had a rough start, but towards the end of the season, he bounced back, and the Detroit team was fun to watch. I mean, holy crap!
They're going to be pretty good. I mean, listen, they're young, and the pitching may not be all the way there yet.
Yeah,
and but you know what? I think that they're going to be a team that it's not a strong division.
No, you got Spencer Torkelson coming up, probably starting the year. Who's the other kid they got?
I'm blanking right now. I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of it.
Yeah, him. He's.
I'm just saying that division's kind of up for grabs. You can see Minnesota being good. You can see Cleveland being good. Chicago's supposed to be the best team, but can you count on them completely yet? I don't know. It's interesting.
Young, they're very young. You know what? We keep saying they're very young. They're really not that young. Abreu's old. Luis Roberts, he's up there in age. It's just that this is only his second season in the majors. Moncada used to be like one of the top guys. Everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's in his upper 20s now. They're not as young as everybody, as they used to be.
No, it's because they're more fresh faced than they are young.
Right. Eloy Jimenez,
like Robert, like those guys. Dylan Cease, these guys. They have some young guys, but they got a good mix of veterans. You still got the anchor at the end of the pen and Hendricks, so they're pretty good.
Right, and one more guy. Let me find him right here. Where the hell is he? Trevor Rogers. I like Trevor Rogers.
I think a lot of people like Trevor Rogers. I think
so. That's not really going out on a limb.
It's going to be a chic pick. Well, listen, I don't think McClanahan was a real barn burner either. I think a lot of people like him too. I don't think it was just me.
And let's see. I'm going to give you one more. You know what? People may disagree. I think Max is going to have a big year.
I can see that. For the
Cardinals. Pitching for the Cardinals. Pitch a ballpark. He is, when he sucks, he sucks. But, he keeps the ball up in the zone. You can always tell watching a game when he's going to really suck because he keeps the ball up in the zone and they smack the crap out of it. But playing in St. Louis, he's going to have Wainwright to talk to help him out. He's going to have he's going to be throwing to that guy, Molina.
Absolutely.
Molina. So he's got a top catcher that he's throwing to. I see him having a good year.
I mean, listen, I could see that. I could also see Marcus Stroman bouncing back a little bit in Chicago.
Oh, he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, and I could see him being a little bit stronger even in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be tough though. He's going to have to be one of their top guys in Chicago.
Well, he's going to really be kind of the guy.
Right.
He's going to be one or two. He's going to have to be the guy that's the stopper for them, which he hasn't had to be that effective in a while. So, be interesting to see. I know every Met fan just turned off the show because I touted the great Marcus Stroman.
So, we're going to do this every week, add, another position stuff as we go along. Some of the top teams that we think are going to be, make a mark. Some of the top players, rather. We'll talk about some of the teams. You can get us on iHeartRadio as well as iTunes and a lot of other places. But those are the places. Go to iTunes.
Go to iTunes. Let's go to iTunes.
Yeah, screw iHeart. It took them like 6 months to decide to put us on. And, they're the company that bought all the radio stations, borrowed a lot of money. Then they went bankrupt. So everybody lost their money. And now they're like one of the top companies again. So screw you, iHeartRadio.
I'm with you. And they're a competitor of mine. So screw them.
Screw them. Well, they're a competitor of my station. But I will never say anything negative about them unless they fire me. And then I'll say something bad about them.
And then there we are.
There we are. So, you know what? It started out some fireworks because.
We disagree on that. I just think that we agree to disagree. You think that he stuck up for his team. I think that both teams have a chance. I think both coaches are allowed to stick up for the team, not just one. That's just the only difference that we have on that one. But college basketball gets exciting. We will be doing a couple of extra broadcasts for the tournament. We are going to try to do our baseball live draft. We're going to try to get people on from out of market. The dog is chewing on his bone like
I've been hearing it.
Oreo, stop. The dog is tearing it up on me. So
the amazing thing. We've been doing the shows for 12 people.
Anyway, I'm sorry, guys.
So we've been doing the shows for 12 people. So, we'll do more shows for those 12.
And we're going to make the shows even better for all 12 of you.
All 12 of you. You're going to be sitting there saying, where have you been all my life?
Exactly. But it was a nice comeback show. It's great to have you back. It's always fun to get to work with you, sir.
Absolutely, sir. You know what? It was a fantastic experience in Beijing. I'm looking forward. What is the next one? Italy, I think, is the next Winter Olympics.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
And we have the Summer Games coming up in 2 years. Where's that?
I don't know. 28 is in L.A.
I think it's in France.
Ooh,
it's in France in 24.
Vive la France. French fries for
France and then Italy and then L.A.
Right. So people are going to be rude to you. The rude French will have the next one, and then Italy. You'll go for a nice pasta dinner.
Exactly.
So without any further ado, it's time for us to go. Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
That comes later.